Hopefully get some people here joining, have a lively conversation, talk about the top news going on today. Trump having a total epic meltdown right now as we speak. Very epic meltdown. It's quite something. I've had a little bit of a cold, cough, something going around. Seems like it's like all across the country, so I have to drink some water. Yeah, let's hopefully some people join on here, everyone. Wonder if it shows up on my page. Let's see. Yeah, it shows that I am live right now, so we should get some people. Hopefully this notifies everyone. If you're watching this, Ryan, is that you in the chat? Will you let me know? How's everyone doing today? What's everyone think the deal is with Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy? This whole case just keeps getting weirder and weirder. Yeah, Trump, epic meltdown. He's really freaking out over this election. He's having a total meltdown over it. It's quite something. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Yeah, Trump's really losing it right now. He's melting down on Truth Social. It's quite something to see, like just lashing out at the Democrats, but you know, his own party doesn't support the Save America Act. It's really something. They want to try and pass this thing and ram it through, and they're really not having it. Well, McClifton, if you're 8.5, you shouldn't even be on here. You love Trump? Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just coping the fact that people love him. I mean, yeah, I'm sure some people love him. That just means you're loving a PDF protector. Yeah, that's what that means. Sorry. It's the truth. They're trying to pass the Save America Act, which would change rules for voting. And you would have to require you to prove that you're a citizen of the United States when you register to vote. So it might require everyone to re-register. That's kind of unclear at this point, but it will require voter ID, which I think most people have no problem with. But there's a little bit of gray area with it that we're trying to get clarity on. But you know, there's stuff in it where it eliminates mail-in voting. So you can't even get a ballot in the mail. Like I'm in California, I get a ballot, I complete it, I do all my signatures and everything, and then I turn it into the ballot box. And so this would eliminate that. You wouldn't be able to vote that way anymore. You'd have to go in person, bring your ID, prove that you're a citizen. If you're a woman who's married, you have to have a passport, and probably a birth certificate also. but they're saying that a passport will be enough and another form of photo ID. Like, it's a mess. The bill hasn't passed yet, but uh, yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere, anyways, just because of the way it was packaged. Um, I think the oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the name. The person that oversees it, um, the Senate, like John Thune's like secretary, essentially that reviews everything. I think she's knocked it down, I believe. But yeah, there's only like 50% of Americans have a valid passport that are eligible to vote. So it's a major problem. And then what could happen then? So if they pass this, Trump then has the power to go and increase the cost of a passport. Right now it's like around 165 bucks plus. He could raise it to whatever he wants. And then that would disenfranchise a certain voting bloc. That would make it unfair. So I don't know, but it would actually probably more disproportionately affect his actual voting base. So I don't know. He's trying anything he can to stop votes, but his main thing is he wants to end the mail-in voting. He's really bothered by that for whatever reason, and he claims that that's a big reason why he lost in 2020, because there was record number of mail-in voting votes because we were doing this during COVID, during the height of COVID, basically. So yeah, two people got killed by ICE today. Did that just happen? I mean, yes, I'm aware two people have been killed by ICE agents. Yeah, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's terrible, and there's nothing being done to the federal agents that murdered these people. Yes, that's anyone needs a passport to vote, but or a birth certificate is what it comes down to. So with a valid ID of some sort. So it also affects Native Americans and tribes because they have a different type of. They don't all necessarily have IDs. Um, they have like a tribal card, I believe is what it is. But yeah, so it will affect the actual Native Americans of this country. It's truly remarkable. No, not everyone has an ID. That's not true. There are people that don't have driver's licenses, that don't drive, and that don't travel around the world, that don't have a passport. That is a thing. And these are people that do vote in elections. Sorry, Vincent. Well, that's not what the Native American Congresswoman from Alaska is saying, Vincent. She said this with a testimony in on Capitol Hill today. So she seems to think there's a lot of people that don't. Thanks for the subscription, Chance. ICE needs to be protected. Interesting. Yep, the Save Act is stupid. Wow. This is interesting. This is really kind of like my first YouTube live. There's a lot of haters on here. This is interesting. People on YouTube are angry, I guess. Wow. I'm the hater. What's I haven't said anything hateful. Oh my gosh, you guys are harsh. Yeah, I came on here to talk about Trump's meltdown on Truth Social he's having, talk about the current news. I do news, political news. This is nothing. This is peaceful. Yeah, you're probably right. Wow, personal insults on here now. This is wow. Well, I'm part Native American, so and I'm just repeating what the congressman from Alaska had to say today. Just looking it up here. Yeah, Mary Patola. Yeah, go check it out. You'll see that I'm not lying. Yeah, well, yeah, he's always having meltdowns, but yeah, he's having a meltdown over you know, requiring voter ID. He wants the Save Act passed, and it looks like it's going to be stalled in the Senate, and probably not happening. And he's hell bent on having voter ID, which most Americans support. But you know, the things he wants along with it are going to disenfranchise some voters. But you know, he's having a meltdown over that. He's attacking radical left Democrats. He's you know, he's he's saying he's going to issue an executive order to require voter ID. That he's working on that now, but I'm not quite sure how that would be lawful and play out. No, I don't think illegals should be voting in elections. There's very minimal evidence of any illegals voting in elections. There's just like a handful of incidents. So until someone brings proof that there's mass widespread, you know, illegals voting in elections, I'm not buying it. We just haven't seen that. No one's been able to bring forth that evidence. Not even the president. So where is it? Well, yeah, if he does that executive order, it'll go through the courts. It'll be contested. It'll be a whole thing. Are you guys for mail-in voting or against it? What's the pulse on that? Give me a 1 if you're for uh, mail-in voting, a 2 if you're against it. Do it in the comments. Yeah, I'm in California. I've always done the mail-in voting. You get the ballot, everyone who's registered gets it, and you complete it, you sign it, you have to go through this whole process signing it and everything, and then I don't even mail it in, I just take it to the, drop box. It's secure. I get it, I get a text as soon as it's received saying they've counted it. I mean, I don't know why it's not done this way everywhere. It's totally secure. Thanks for subscribing from Bangladesh. Wow. Welcome. Have I looked into going to Turkey? No, I have not. How is mail-in voting fraudulent? It's a paper ballot, traceable. You can track it. You go to a voting machine, it's just an electronic device. It's a computer. It's got a computer in it. It can be hacked. Well, if it should be done in person, shouldn't that be like a whole national holiday? No one goes to work, so everyone can go vote. That's part of the issue. People still have to go to work on election day and then try and vote. So shouldn't we just make that a national holiday? Close everything down, everyone can go vote that wants to? Wouldn't that make sense? If you're serving overseas, you're allowed to vote if you're serving overseas. Yeah, or vote on a Sunday. Why are we doing it on a Tuesday? There's a lot of common sense things that would make sense to do this. Yeah, there's a lot of lunatics on here. This is really kind of like my first YouTube live, and it's quite interesting. I usually just do TikTok or my Substack. I haven't even done Instagram yet. That should be interesting. Maybe I'll try that next. Yeah, why wouldn't you close everything down so everyone can vote? Why is that so wild? That's a wild idea? Wow. Yeah, see, people that serve in the military, they do mail-in, especially when you're overseas. You have to do it that way. But that's the exception he said he would have. That's one of them for mail-in voting. Seeing worse than this? Yeah. What does everyone think about Trump cabinet members during his first term going down to visit Epstein Island? How do you guys all feel about that? Totally fine with it? Did you guys see that? Newly discovered emails from the Epstein file release. An email between Epstein and Bill Gates. He's like, Epstein tells Gates, you should come to the island. Bunch of the new Trump cabinet members are coming. Yeah, I saw Noam and her advisor, Corey Lewandowski. Yeah, apparently that's been going on for a year or so. So that apparently is old news, although a lot of people were just learning about it today. So yeah, no conflicts of interest there. Good Christian people. She claims to be this devout Christian, but has been committing adultery for 2 years. You guys all support that? Think that's cool? Oh, really? You're casting doubt on those emails? Yes. Got real quiet on the chat when we started talking about Trump cabinet members going to Epstein Island. Huh. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, both sides are rotten. Yeah, politicians don't give a shit, but there are some that do, a small group, but I would say generally, yes, most do not. They're just in it for themselves. If they really gave a shit, they would have passed the bill to not be able to trade while in office. Japan, who will write the books, make the movies? I don't know. At this rate, the movies might just be made by AI. It's true, Sheila. Only one side is doing it in Jesus' name. But they bring religion into it. Religion is supposed to be left out of politics. Trump has brought it in front and center. The Republicans have. I mean, did you miss the prayer breakfast Trump did talking about religion? That was just like a week ago. Like, yeah, I do watch yeah, I do read some British newspapers and European newspapers. They're all talking about this Epstein stuff a lot more than it is here. Like Fox News here isn't even talking about it really at all. Um, but yeah, they're talking about the connections to Mossad. They're talking about connections to Russia, and it's the realization is that on both sides, Republican, Democrat, is that the Epstein was getting compromising material on whoever was in power, on the rich and powerful, everyone, and using that to his own advantage. But was it really for his advantage, or was he doing this on behalf of someone else, like Mossad, like Russia, some other entity? That's what we really need to get to the bottom of. But now it's to the point where we need to be asking ourselves. There's Trump officials, in the files, exposed from both terms. We've got now a Obama uh, attorney, his White House counsel incriminated in this. Um, and this can go back pretty far. So now the question is, was there anyone in the Bush Cheney administration that he had compromising info on? Because if there's two officials in Obama in his administration, his Treasury Secretary is implicated. So, it's how far back does it go, and who else is involved? Who else are we going to find that we haven't seen yet? I check in the Fox News every now and then. Yeah, we still have 3 million more files. We'll see. It'll end up coming out at some point. And I'm curious because they Howard Lutnick said he would, uh, you know, hand over, if it's requested, his own communications with Epstein, his own records. So we'll see if he does that and if that were to shed any more light on things. Um, and here's the thing: we have all these now European governments conducting their own investigations. Norway, Poland, the UK, like more each day, and they're going to find things. And you know, we're going to find more people involved. I mean, it's a massive, massive operation that happened. And we have to ask ourselves what's missing from the files right now. We're missing the 302s, the FBI forms where they took witness statements, the allegations, the names. They're all in that. Those have not been released. Those are part of the Epstein files. We have not seen those yet. They have not released those. They're holding those back, and those are the very files they're supposed to release. So they're just covering it up. That's what it is. And we also haven't seen the photos that Michael Wolff explained to have seen. We haven't seen those. And those are photos with Trump, with girls that appear to be topless. There's several different photos. He said that Epstein pulled out of a safe, unlocked the safe, pulled them out and showed him, and then put them back in. So that safe presumably was seized by the FBI. So where did that go? So there's a lot of stuff missing. The victims know of many items missing that they are expecting to see and haven't seen yet, but the 302s are kind of the big thing. It is so massive. And yeah, who knows if we'll ever know all of it. But even the financial records of everything, we've only seen a glimpse of that. All the financial transactions that he was conducting and all that, all the money laundering operations. I was reading that he and Bannon were even working to move money through World of Warcraft with the gold tokens in World of Warcraft because it can't be traced, really. It was like they were doing that before there was crypto. So I had no idea there were companies that would mine essentially World of Warcraft gold and then trade it and profit off of it. It's pretty wild. Well, the big question is how did Epstein get his vast wealth? Where did that originally come from? Because he didn't start a business that all of a sudden blew up. He didn't do it. He was trading people's money. Like he got vast sums that came to him quickly. He was able to use his leverage. Now, some of that did come from Les Wexner. But there's got to be more. Yeah, Trump did run on releasing the files. He did promise it. Well, I mean, you got to think about the dates when all of this was going on. So we're talking like 90s and the early 2000s. We didn't have like the Signal app. We didn't have all these like strong encryption technologies, these apps back then. Really all we had was phone calls and email. I just want to bring up the point too. Trump is named, they're saying they did a search query on it today. One of the Congress members did, and his name showed up in the unredacted files over around 1.5 million times in the 3+ million they've released so far. That's how often Trump's name came up. If you have ever noticed, photos of Trump in his office over the years, there's one thing that's missing from his desk. He's never had a computer. He's he's had paper. Everything comes to him in the form of paper. It's like a mob boss running everything. So there's no electronic trail of email that will go back to him. The only digital y- thing he has is he had Twitter, and then now he's got his Truth Social. Uh, but he never really has communicated through email. So he's mentioned that many times without actually having been sending emails to Epstein. Don't you find that interesting? Someone that never operated using a computer, running a big corporation, he's insulated. He Everyone else around him did that, but he didn't. It's not BS. Go look it up. Go check into it. Google it. Find me a picture of Trump in his office with a computer at his desk. Doesn't exist. Yeah, part of that, Epstein probably got his money using the videos to make money. Yeah, getting compromised information, blackmailing people. Yeah. Eyes wide shut, wallets wide open. Yeah. I mean, how do some of you guys feel about Trump suing the government while he's in office, suing the IRS, taking $10 billion of taxpayer money? That's what his plan is. I'm good, 3DL. How are you doing? Where are all the Trump supporters on here about him taking over $10 billion of your taxpayer money? You guys all down with that? Is it 10 million or 10 billion? Did I get the number wrong? I think it's 10 billion. $10 billion. $10 billion with a B. And he wants 300 million for his other lawsuit that he filed before he won the election. You guys still hear me? Well, the lawsuit is he's suing the IRS because he alleges that someone unlawfully leaked his tax returns. And so his tax returns came out, and he's suing for $10 billion in damages for that. And this is a decision that, well, what would happen is his Treasury Secretary and Department of Justice would then have to defend the United States government against the president. So he was saying basically that's probably not going to happen. We're just going to settle it. So what's the settlement amount going to be? And he claims that the settlement amount, it's going to be in the billions, and he plans to donate it all to charity. That's what he claims. It's like so highly unethical. I mean, it's like this is something we've never ever dealt with before. No one's ever thought about doing this. It's there's gonna have to be laws made later to prevent this from ever being able to be done again. Because what would stop any president from coming in and just suing for anything and being the one that has to sign off on the settlement and force the settlement with yourself? You just walk into the treasury like it's your own big piggy bank. It's insane. Yeah, where's the oil money from Venezuela? One of the most corrupt things ever happening in history. No oversight. He's stuck it all on a Qatar bank account outside of any U.S. jurisdiction. Yeah, every president should have to release their tax returns. It's just insane to not do that. Yeah, where's everyone's $2,000 tariff checks? He's promised so many checks, I've lost track. Are we going to get checks too for healthcare? I don't know. Yeah, well, the jet from from Qatar, that was a bribe, totally. And by the way, that plane will never end up going to him afterwards or in the presidential library. That'll get seized. That'll get stopped. As long as the Democrats take back control, which they're expected to do. Everyone needs to get out and vote. He still hasn't paid like for events he's had for his rallies in lots of cities across the country. I know, like especially in New Mexico, he owes them thousands of dollars. Yeah, groceries cheaper? No, not really. I mean, I haven't seen a difference in gas really. Maybe minimal, nothing significant. Oh yeah, JFK's grandson on Trump. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. No, it's not Trump that writes those checks. He has no power to do that. Like that has to go through Congress. That's why it's all so. That's why it's just a ruse. It's just another lie that he's telling everyone. Makes you think he's going to send you money and it never does, but keeps hinting that it's coming, but never does. Yeah, vote early in person. Definitely a wise decision. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the mail because if he's changed the postmark rules and how that works. So unless you go into the post office, have them hand stamp the postmark date, they can hold a ballot technically for as long as they want before they postmark it. They can hold it till it's too late. So you can't trust that. But yeah, that's where we're at with all this. So 2028, who do you guys think it's going to be in 2028? Newsom, AOC, Harris, someone else against Vance? Does anyone on here really think Trump will be running for a third term? Or sometimes he calls it a fourth term now because he thinks he really won the 2020 election. Yeah, the post office is wrecked. I think Newsom's it for the Democrats. Yeah, he's over in Germany right now talking to all the world leaders. Everyone's upset about Trump making these major changes to the EPA. You know, he just wants to have all these AI data centers do whatever they want and like just pollute the shit out of the air. You know, as long as they can make billions of dollars off of it, he doesn't care. Newsom didn't let California burn. God. You really believe that? Yeah, I think a lot of people, they see like LA, they just see certain parts of LA on the news and they think that's all of it. And it's just a small sliver of everything. Um, yeah, it's plan a trip. It's a big state. Vans for sidewalk sweeper. Yeah, well, it's too early. We just got to get through the midterms. There right now it's speculated that Newsom will run. Although today he said he wasn't sure exactly just yet, but all signs point to it. Rumors are AOC is thinking about it. Harris is thinking about it. So well, I'm sure there will be more. It'll probably be a crowded field at first. Um, but yeah, I don't know what you don't trust about Newsom. I'm curious about that. Hi from Venezuela. Yeah, well, yeah, we do have to keep our eyes on China. I mean, they're making deals with everyone. I mean, Trump has basically put us in a position where we've lost our standing as the world leader now. And even Marco Rubio said today the world has changed and is forming into something new, and everyone's got to adapt. The world we all knew growing up and everything, that's gone. But they asked Gavin Newsom about that today, and he doesn't share that sentiment necessarily. He thinks that there's a way to course correct and get us back on track. It's going to take a lot of work, but he doesn't see it being as bad as some in the Trump administration are painting it out to be and trying to make it out to be. Yeah, Venezuela, did you get your oil check? You guys are supposed to get money. Trump's supposed to be paying a bunch of your oil money back to you. Well, I think Newsom's trying to get, you know, all sides of the spectrum engaged. Um, he's getting ready to build a coalition, very much so like Biden ended up doing, and where he had Republicans and Democrats supporting him. So, um, yeah, I think he could have something. The one thing he said today, they asked him, are you afraid of too many people worried of you bringing progressive California policies to the rest of the country? And he's like, well, these policies don't work for everywhere in the country. So we can't do that essentially. We have to use the policies that work for everyone, and then state by state they can pass their own progressive policies should they work there. But he's taking a view to appeal to everyone to do things that benefit the greater good, that benefit everyone, not just he doesn't want to come in and be super progressive or liberal. And he's really not that. I mean, he's even with Trump on the same sex or sorry, transgender in sports. He's against that. So, I think he'll have widespread appeal. But I think right now, looking at the field, Newsom is it. But we'll see. We'll have like an actual primary this time and see what Harris has to say, how she goes up at this point now. against opponents. So it'll be a good exercise here in our democracy here very soon. Yeah, we don't know. You're right, Sheila. Let's give him a chance. Let's see what he wants to do, what his policies are. We don't know anything about that just yet. Right now, they're just working to survive Trump and win the midterm elections. Those are the primary goals right now. And that's what's going on in Europe right now. Everyone's just kind of trying to survive right now because everyone knows that Trump is temporary. And as soon as the cult leader dies, the cult will die with him. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Harris is it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, she did have a lot of enthusiasm built up in a short amount of time. So I don't want to count anyone out yet because we're not even there. We're not even close yet. But the California governor's race is getting interesting. I just saw a report about Tom Steyer, who's running, who's just another rich guy, but he's a Democrat. But he had invested in all the in a bunch of immigration detention centers. So he's getting blasted pretty hard for that right now. And I don't know how he's going to try and square that. So I think he might be cooked after all that coming out today. Melania, I mean, are you serious? No one even went to see her movie. Yeah, I mean, I think if we were talking like Newsom, Harris, Shapiro, AOC, any of them being the candidates, I think any of them would be better than whatever's on the Republican side. I'm very concerned about what's going on in the Middle East, actually. I'm concerned that we're not getting accurate numbers of how many people have been killed killed in Iran by the Iranian government. I'm seeing all sorts of different numbers. None of it's good. And Trump made it seem like he was going to be there to support them and left them out to dry. Encouraged them to rise up against their government and then hunt them out there. So, yes, I'm very concerned. They're continuing talks, but I'm not very confident anything's going to actually come from that. And I think ultimately it's going to end up going to his phase 2, whatever the hell that is. Well, yes, Bezos just paid him for it. Yeah, I mean that's not what that movie made. I mean that movie's never going to recoup its budget, let alone profit at this point. Don't remember you. It's not going great with Trump. He's having meltdowns again. Yeah, what did Doge take from our government records? Yeah, that's the other thing that's going to become a big deal. Well, they took all of our social security information and they uploaded it to an unsecure server and gave someone access to it. We don't know who. We don't know what was taken, if it's still there, or what's really floating around out there. So I think when this is all done and that gets fully investigated, I think we're going to go through a process that's going to cost a tremendous amount of money, and we're all going to have to get new social security numbers and redo the entire system, um, because everyone's information is assumed to be compromised right now. They said there was an 86% chance of that. Well, that's really, in the world of chances for things like that, extremely high. That's as good as saying, yeah, the information is compromised. So, yeah, we're going to have to redo all of that. They're already talking about it. And this is a case where essentially, if another people wanted to do it, every American citizen that wanted to join could file a class action lawsuit against the government for doing that. So thanks, Elon. Ivanka's passport was taken and her phone was seized. I have not heard that. Where are you hearing that? I'll take a peek real quick. That is false. Quick fact check. Ivanka Trump's passport and phone were not seized by U.S. Marshals. That is a false claim. Sorry. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm going to wrap this up here. Yeah, it's easy to get doped by stuff like that. There's a lot of misinformation that's floating around, especially if you enter the world of X or Facebook. I find most of it there. But like someone sent me a thing today that Epstein's former pilot for his private jet was arrested for soliciting child prostitution, trafficking, all that stuff. Now, it turned out there was a person arrested somewhere in South America, I forget where, that was engaged in that activity, but it was not Epstein's former pilot. So, I thought that was Liam Ramos that was given the Grammy. Lots of other people did. I saw trusted sources reporting it, and then turned out it wasn't him. It was a child actor. So, just got to be careful with everything. Things will spread fast that aren't true, unfortunately. So, yeah, just got to double check. Yeah, buffering. Yeah, sorry, I saw something kind of go off for a minute. But thanks for joining me, everyone. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, please do so. And I'll see you guys back here for the next one. So my first real live on YouTube. So I appreciate everyone coming here. Want to give it a test run here, and I'll see you back here for the 411.